But your clinician also needs your help. You need to give them a head up. If you're coming in to talk about something that's kind of unique, it's good to let him know, hey, I'm coming in 2 weeks to talk about my child's aggressive behavior. So he can make sure enough time's scheduled, so he can think a little about it. If it's a complementary therapy you want to talk, so he can do a little footwork, because he may need to. So give him a heads up when it's not something as common as, you know, I'm here for his well-child check, or we're just here to update his prescriptions on his medicine. Again, give him appropriate time. It's really difficult as a physician to be in the room for your 15-minute well-child check and, oh, on the way out the door, could we talk about toilet training? Which in a typical child, if there's problems, is not a 5-minute conversation, and in a child with autism is a much longer conversation. So it becomes very hard, and if he says or she says to you, come on, we need to schedule that to come back and talk another time, that's why. It's just too hard. Again, if your child's sick and in there, if it's something quick like, hey, we just need a referral to neurology, that might be fine. But if it's to talk about something really complex, give him the opportunity for another visit where he's not really focused on your child's pneumonia and concerned about that. And then also remember that you and the clinician can only process so much information. As many people in this room know, you met with probably a developmental pediatrician or somebody at one point, and your child was given a diagnosis of autism. And I'll tell you that you're sitting there thinking, I have an hour with this family, and there's this much knowledge. What can I give them in an hour that they can process? And so you have to pick off some little chunk. And you, as a clinician, you do feel bad because you know there's so much more the family has to learn. But there's no way you could do all that, and the family could process all that in an hour. So remember that clinicians use a stepwise approach. So if your child is having struggles with something, they're going to sit down with you, evaluate it, and maybe they'll reassure you, maybe they'll say, let's try X or Y. But in the back of their mind, they're thinking, if that doesn't help, or if this doesn't improve, we need to move on to next step. But sometimes families don't understand that, and so when it doesn't improve, they feel frustrated and they feel like their pediatrician didn't help them with that. But it's because the pediatrician was kind of wanting to make that next step. And if your pediatrician has reassured you about something and it's not getting better, give them the opportunity. Say, this has not gotten better. It's been 6 weeks, so that they can take that next step with you. Don't be afraid to offer guidance. When I walk into a room, I need to know, how your child's going to respond to me. Is this a child who doesn't want their ear looked at, or a child who won't leave the room if I don't look in their ears because of their OCD? I need to know that. If a nurse is going to need backup because your child's getting a shot or taking a medicine and needs a second person in that room or needs you to help, tell them, so we don't get in a situation where things have gotten uncontrollable. And will your child take your medicine as prescribed? If your child doesn't take medicine well because they have sensory issues and it has to only be in grape syrup and nothing but grape syrup, don't be afraid to tell the clinician that. And a good clinician will say, I'm glad you told me. Let's figure out how we can get this in grape syrup. And I see that, honestly, all the time, that a child's prescribed some medicine and the parents say, I knew we weren't going to be able to get it into him, but but nobody seemed to respect that or understand that. And then close the loop. Let the pediatrician know when they've referred you for something how that went. I've referred a family to an evaluation somewhere recently and didn't get any feedback, and then I was about ready to refer another family, and the speech therapist said to me, oh, that family told me it was a horrible experience and this is what happened. And I need to know that so I don't keep referring families to resources that don't go well for them. Let your pediatrician know what they do is helpful for you, and if there's something that they're not helping you with, speak up. You say, I need your help with this, or you need to find somebody who can give me help with this. And then funding issues are huge. How many in here have had struggles getting something funded for your child that your child needed? Psychology eval, equipment, speech therapy, 50%, I'm sure, in this room. And that is a role of your clinician, whether it's the specialist pediatrician, is to help you negotiate those systems.